For everyone who is joining tonight, we're going to make a carrot wreath. And it's not a traditional frame that we're going to use. The frame that I'm going to use is a witch hat that has tinsel on it that came from Dollar Tree back at Halloween time. Hi Laura, hi Joan. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to alter it, cut it down a little bit so I can use it as the frame for the carrot. Hi Patsy. Sharon, I know that's a very good point, that you can't get witches hats right now, and that this, some might think this is a pointless tutorial. But for those of you that don't have this hat, go to YouTube, look up Serendipity's Closet, and she has a tutorial using coat hangers, plastic coat hangers from the Dollar Tree, and she makes a frame similar to this that you can substitute for the witch hat. Laura, you have leftover witch hats. I've probably still got about 50. I didn't make that many, witch hats and Santa hats and elf hats. I made a few, don't get me wrong, but I saved a bunch. So I will be prepared this coming season. I'm gonna have a bunch pre-made. So when we're in the season, I can be working on the next and not be behind the game like I've been so far. Hi Janet, you waited all day for this. I am so sorry that it's taken me so long to do this, you guys. But I'm happy I'm here now and I get to bring this to you. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Actually, what am I doing cutting this off? I'm a little nervous. So this is what they look like to start, okay? And what I do is I take all of the tinsel off. So you're left with this. Hi Tammy, hi Jan. Hi Terry from PA, Pennsylvania. Sorry, I'm reading. I am so nervous, you guys. I usually have my sidekick with me, and he's not here tonight. So anyway, here is the hat with the tinsel taken off. Okay, the next step is to cut it. And when you cut it, it's gonna look like this. Doesn't look all that different, but I'm gonna show you where you need to cut. Yeah, breathe, right? Well, normally I get to do the work and he sits to the side and answers the questions or, asks me and I can answer as I'm working. So tonight it's a little different, working and making sure I don't ignore you guys so I can talk with you guys. I've got the computer right here in front of me so I can see. That's right, we are all friends and I appreciate you guys coming every time I'm on and cheering me on because you guys are amazing. Okay, so take your cutters, and on where the brim of the hat would be, I'm going to lay it down here so you're not getting distracted by my shirt. So where the brim of your hat would be, you've got these two ends that kind of curve outward. So take your cutters and you're going to cut right to the right side of these bars that go right here. So basically you're just cutting this pointed tip off. Thank you for sharing, Jan. Guys, if you wouldn't mind, please share. I'm trying to get my business up and going and, getting my name out there. And, I would appreciate any shares that you guys would give. So I'm just going to take my clippers and clip right up next to that bar. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. I'll put it right there. Okay, you just clip the little curved edge off. Okay, you're going to do that on both sides. And it's okay if there's, little nubbies sticking out. It's going to be covered. And I actually use the nubbies on this frame, and I'll show you how. Okay, so I've cut both tips off. You have what looks like this. I'll show it on the door. Like that. So now you flip it up. Thank you for sharing. So you flip it up, and you're going to go down to the second little crossbar here. Okay, not the first one, the second. And you're gonna do the same thing you did down here. You're gonna cut it to the outside edge of that bar. All right, so you've cut about that much off your tip, okay? Hi, San Antonio. You guys are awesome. Thank you. All right, so you have a frame that, I'll hold it like this, that looks like this. And I know it's not the exact shape of a carrot yet, but as you add your ruffles, it's going to fill out and you can manage the shape of it as you go. My mouth's dry, I'm gonna get a drink. All right, I did a lot of the prep work before I came on tonight, so I have a box right here full of ruffles already made. Okay, so here's a box full. What I did is I tried to stay within the theme of Dollar Tree. So we have the Dollar Tree frame, and we're going to use the Dollar Tree mesh, orange, and it's gonna take 2, 4, 5 rolls, maybe 5.5. I'll know exactly when I get done how many it's gonna take. So what I did is I take 2 rolls. Hi Eva, hi neighbor. Marshall Strong. Hi Trixie, is it snack time? All right, so I rolled out my 2 rolls together. I put the ends together and I rolled them out on top of each other. Now use something heavy to hold them down, just so they don't roll back up on me. You can use scissors or a rotary cutter. When working with deco mesh, I do prefer to use a sharp rotary cutter because it helps your frayed edges. You're never going to get rid of fraying. That's just, you know, the nature that is deco mesh, but you can minimize it doing other steps, and using a rotary cutter is one. So you want to start, my chair won't roll, there we go, with a fresh edge. So I always, it would help if I took the guard down. So always take your edges and give yourself a nice fresh straight edge. Right, Terry? That's what I have to do. I have severe stage fright, so I pretend I'm talking to my family. It makes it so much easier. But you guys have become like family and friends, and you guys have been here, most of you, since the beginning and have cheered me on, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being there with me and for me. So I've got both rolls rolled out, and I'm going to cut 12 inches. Okay. And since I have most of them cut, I'm not going to cut a bunch. I'm pretty sure that everybody can understand the basics of just cutting. So take its natural curve and lay that down on your mat or table. And you're going to do the ruffle. So you find the center with your fingers and thumb, and you just squeeze it, squish it, pinch it back till you form this. Now if you notice, I ruffled both pieces at the same time together. A lot of times when people do the ruffle with this mesh, they'll do individual ruffles and then put them all together and bundle them. This time I ruffled them at the same time together. Dollar Tree mesh is 6 inches wide, and these are 5 yards long. So if you were substituting, you know, say this 5 or 6 inch mesh from Hobby Lobby or any other, you know, craft store, you would probably, they come in, I don't know, maybe 10-foot rolls or 10-yard rolls or 3-yard rolls. I don't know, but do the math, do the conversion. I am horrible with math, and I just showed everybody that I was. So anyway, I've got my 2 pieces ruffled together, and I'm gonna take a chenille stem, also Halloween collection from the Dollar Tree, and wrap it around the center. You have your ends coming down, and I take and fold the ruffles in half like this, okay? And that helps get a really tight twist on the bottom of your ruffle and kind of like shrinks it up so it's a tight ruffle and not a loose one. So here's what it looks like. Now what you do is just take and use your fingers to separate them a little bit. Hi, Irina. Laura, I don't think they do have orange right now. I know that they're starting to put out the Easter collection, and I think it's just like light blue, light yellow, light pink. But I know Hobby Lobby has the short mesh as well. And if not, you can order from Craft Outlet, order online. Hi, Susie. Hi, Laura. Hobby Lobby has the orange. Yeah, see, okay. Okay, so to get yourself started, think about the shape of a carrot. Pointed or, you know, narrow here and wider up here. So you want to take this middle bar right here, and you're going to wrap your first piece around it. And you want your ruffle going vertical, not horizontal, because you're trying, like I said, to manage the shape, you have to pay attention to how you lay your ruffles on. Okay, can't just put them in there willy-nilly. You have to lay them in with a purpose. So make sure it's vertical. Hi, Julie. Thank you for tuning in for the first time. Yeah, Sharon, if you found some red, white, and blue, you should have bought it because that stuff goes quick. And I know I have most of these done with a full pipe cleaner. It's kind of an after the fact aha moment. You could totally use half a pipe cleaner. Take one, bend it in half, cut it, and you'd get 2 out of 1. So more bang for your buck there. So anyway, you tie it off, and it's gonna be, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and do it this way and show y'all. Instead of tying it to the one bar, let's just tie it around the whole end. But remember in the beginning I said that I used the nubbies on the frame. So because you have to manage the shape of the carrot, I use the nubs that are along the edge of the frame to wrap my stem around. It holds it in place. So when, you know, I want it to go up and down, it's gonna stay up and down and not slide up and down that section of your frame. Mississippi in the house. Carolyn, hi. Kimberly, your tip from trial and error. If you see it at Dollar Tree, buy it all then, because it won't be there the next time. And that's absolutely true. That goes for frames, deco, tubing, any of that kind of stuff. The signs, meh. The witch hats, as soon as they put them out, you better snatch them up because they'll be gone in a heartbeat. And especially after the hat frenzy from these past seasons, because it's really taken off. All right, so we've got one on, and I know it doesn't look like much now, but it's gonna. So you're gonna take another one, and you've got your 2 pieces that you cut together. They're natural curve. Lay them down on your mat, find your center, and squish it to form a ruffle. Right, and then you take a pipe cleaner, run it around the center. Now, run it around the center, come up from the bottom with your fingers like this, and circle around it, kind of squishing it and pulling it up. So that's how I have it in my hand. And then that allows me to pull tight and twist at the bottom, and it creates a very tight twist. So then you just take and separate your ruffles. Okay, I'm going to start pulling from the box, and we will see how many we need at the end, because I think I cut almost enough. And since I know it's going to be hard for you guys to see exactly where I am placing these, after the live is over, I'm going to take a piece of cardboard and draw out the frame, and I'm going to put X's every place that you need to put a stem. Hi, Gracie from Texas. Oh, not that one. All right, so the next row I'm going to call row 2, because you put just 1 for the tip. So you come just above that to the next set of nubbies, and you put 2 in that row, so 1 on each side. So I've got 1, 2, and then the 1 on the bottom. So far we have 3. So far. Okay. Hi, Carlene from New York City. Thank you, Linda. I really enjoy doing this. When I started my business back in September, it was because I was originally kind of cut down to half-time at my job, my full-time job. And then I'm like, okay, I've got to make up that income somehow. So that's how my business became. And shortly thereafter, I ended up losing my job completely. But it was a blessing, for sure. And it helped me with the stress and anxiety. And yeah, just being able to make something with your hands is so cathartic. Michelle, you've been waiting all day. Aw, thank you so much. You know, I tried to be the kind of teacher that I would want to learn from. So when I first started learning how to make wreaths, I wasn't a member of any paid private groups yet. But I binge watched Hardworking Mom and Debbie's Wreaths and things on YouTube. And you know, you just get so much information and you learn to apply it, you know, the best you can. But, you know, as you're doing it, you find things, well, you know, maybe I would have liked a little more light or, you know, a different angle. So I've tried to take those things as I'm doing things and remember, well, I would have liked to have seen this. So I try to do that. I'm a very visual person and hands-on. But if, you know, your camera angle is kind of funky, I can't really tell what you're doing with your hands. So I really try to bring you guys the best, you know, clearest possible tutorial that you guys, that I can, basically. So all I am doing right now, because we're still in the narrow part of the frame, I'm just putting in 2 side by side. And I've done 1, 2, getting ready to do my 3rd row of 2. Hello, Susan from Omaha. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, Linda. Fran, welcome. The frame is a witch hat from the Dollar Tree Halloween collection. But don't fret, because if you didn't pick one up this past season, you can go on YouTube and look up Serendipity's Closet. And she has a tutorial using Dollar Tree plastic coat hangers and electrical tape, I believe it was, that she used. And she creates the same frame using those. Thank you, Laura. You have been here with us this whole time. And that's what makes it so much easier for me to be able to come on here with my anxiety and my stage fright, because you guys have been with me for so long. And you know, you're just a part of my life. I know when I come on, who I'm gonna see time and time again. Hi, Jean. Hi, Brenda. Okay, so this is what we have so far. Not too shabby. Now, the next row, we're gonna do 3. And we do 1 on the outside, 1 on the inside, and 1 on the inner. But anytime that I can, I try to wrap around at least 2 bars. It just gives it more stability, helps hold it in place better. Patty, the hubby, is taking a nap before he goes into work tonight. He works nights, and tonight is, he has to go into work. So he's grabbing a quick nap. The boys are in bed already because they have school. And so yeah, it's just me tonight. It's not going to be a 2-hour tutorial like last night. This should be done fairly quickly. I did most of the prep work already. Yeah, Teresa, a bad penny. I'll take a penny any day. Oh, I just love this. All right, so we're doing 3 in this row. And Nelda, yes, I do a live alert, and thank you for joining us your first time. If you locate the pinned post on the main business page here, you will see a set of instructions to follow to sign up for our bot. So if you do those, then you'll be notified the next time we go live. All right. And like I said, I'm wrapping around 2 bars, and make sure that you put it like between nubbies of where you want it so it doesn't slide up and down the frame too much. Connie, the mesh is 6 inches, and since I was using a Dollar Tree frame, I'm using Dollar Tree mesh, and it's cut in 12-inch strips. I do the ruffle technique, and I use 2 ruffles per bundle, but I don't do them separately. I ruffle them at the same time. And I'll show you another one here in just a few moments. All right. I'm going to bring a couple more up here, and we're just going to keep adding. Now, we're doing 3 per row now. And here in a minute, as we get a little further up, we'll be doing 4 per row. But as you can see, it's just building. And as I get to the rows with 3, I do the center one first, and then I fill in around it. Hi, Sandy. It's okay. Glad you made it. Hi, Christy. Hi, Catherine from Australia. So for those of you just joining, if you don't mind, I would love it if you gave a quick share to your page or to any groups that you think might, want to learn what we're doing here tonight. I am trying to grow my business, and the best way is with virtual hugs via shares from you guys. Man, this mesh is not doing what I want. It just came undone. So hold that thought. We'll do another one. Never mind. Where was I? Right there. Hi, Cleveland. Angela, Belinda. Hi, Vicki. This is kind of neat. Normally, JC's the one that's sitting here that gets to see all you guys. Vicki, you have anxiety and RA, and you call your youngest Lolo too. That is so cool. Catherine, the frame is a witch hat frame from the Halloween collection at Dollar Tree. And I know that a lot of you guys won't be able to get this frame right now, but if you look up Serendipity's Closet on YouTube, she has a video where she uses plastic coat hangers from the Dollar Tree and some electrical tape, and she creates the same frame to use. The frames went really quickly, and a lot of people were left without back at Halloween, so she was brilliant enough to come up with a way so everybody could have one. Jane's front door decor. What did I miss, Sharon? Jane, I got the orange mesh at Dollar Tree, and because I didn't find any green mesh at Dollar Tree ever, I used some that I got at Hobby Lobby, and it's 10-inch, but I'll show you the way I'm going to use it. Laura, you have some leftover frames. Brandy, the bow maker that I showed the other day, it's called Probo the Hand, and it is an amazing little bow maker. Well, it's not really little, is it? It's an amazing bow maker that really steps up your game if you make wreaths to sell, or I mean if you just care about good quality bows. I said that and I shouldn't have. You can make great bows by hand, but I am not that talented. If you watched my live last night, you saw me make a bumbling mess out of trying to make hand bows. But it can be done. And I also, believe it or not, use a Bodabra. I know I joke that I only use it for ruffles, but I do use my Bodabra for bows. And the bow that I did to put on this tonight, I did use the Bow Dabra to make it. I'll show it to you guys here in just a second. Laura, I am so sorry. Gentle hugs, and I'll send up some prayers for you tonight. Oh, don't fall. Okay, so here's the bow that I made on the Bow Dabra. So see, it can be done. It's like with anything else, it takes practice. And this is really annoying me that I'm like cut off right here. I'm having to hunker down. So here is what we're looking at so far. We're going to continue to add. I think we're going to do one more 3-row before we go into 4. I'm about out of the pre-made ones, so we may have to make some more. Nancy, you have the Bow Dabra and you love it. You know, it's funny, on all the wreathing groups that I'm a part of, I see questions darn near every day about, you know, the best bow maker, which one, Bow Dabra or Pro Bow, Bow Dabra or Pro Bow, or hand bow. And it's usually, most people say the Pro Bow. Very few say the Bow Dabra. But there are ladies who use it, and I have both bow makers and I use them both. It really honestly depends on what kind of bow I want to do. All of my bows that look like this will be done on a Bow Dabra. My terry bows, of course, are done on the Pro Bow. And then I do some basic hand bows that don't require a lot of holding. I cut them in pieces and kind of assemble like you saw last night. So different bows, different ways to do them, but I use all the bow makers. Excuse me. I ate dinner right before we came live, so all right. Yeah, this is going to be the last row of 3, and the next one will go up to 4. And like I said, don't panic if you're not following along where I'm putting everything. I will, when I'm done, trace out a pattern of the hat on a piece of cardboard and mark exactly where I add the bundles, so you guys, you know, would have an easier time figuring out where to add yours. But you don't really need it. Honestly, if you just start at the bottom and work your way up and manage your shape, you know, shifting things as you go, you're going to turn out fine. Pamela, my helper, is taking a quick nap before he has to go into work tonight. Someday, when all of his college is over, we will, you know, see each other, not like ships and, you know, passing in the night. But small sacrifices now for the greater goal later, right? Jean, great question. Jean asks, why 2 ruffled together? The reason I ruffled both of them together is because I want good, solid coverage. I don't want to be able to see my frame. And because this mesh is super thin, there's not a lot of, you know, not a lot to it, you can see through it. So by doubling them up, it just has more coverage. And I don't think I'm going to be able to use those pieces now. When this is done, as I've always said, deco mesh is going to fray. You just kind of have to learn to live with it. But I will go through and cut off the little, you know, stray hairs and give it a haircut basically. And spray it either with some E6000 or some Krylon and seal it off to help keep those frays from getting any worse. Laura, yours is napping too. So see, there's others out there that understand. It's not an easy life at all. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but sometimes as adults, we have to do what we have to do. And because he's doing what he's doing, I get to do this and not have to work a full-time job anymore. So I'm very thankful for him and his sacrifices. Misty, thank you for joining. I cut them at 12 inches long, and I ruffle 2 pieces together at the same time for better coverage. Yes, Catherine, he's going to be a history teacher. He is going through the courses right now, getting his history degree and his teaching credentials at the same time. So he will be an 8th grade through 12th grade history teacher, hopefully by May of 2019. Right, Laura? Jean, I did get the orange at Halloween time, but if you would like to recreate this now, Hobby Lobby does have the orange. I don't know if all stores carry it, but you can get it online. And if not, if they're out for whatever reason, there's Craft Outlet, there's a few. So if you find that you wanted to order it and you couldn't, you can always message me and I can give you some other options to try. Pam, he's awesome. E6000 does come in a spray. It is, here's my tube and here's my spray. Lovely stuff. Now I've seen people saying that this stuff causes cancer. I don't know. The way I look at it, it's a glue, it's an epoxy, it's an adhesive. I don't really know that any of those are super safe anyway. So I say this is what I use if you have issues with it, or you may choose not to use it, but I do. You can always opt to use Krylon as well, but I usually just use E6000. Catherine, you're right. Schools do need more happy personalities, and he is definitely one of those. We're like yin and yang. I'm the super serious, and he's the balance, the soothing, the one that doesn't stress. Lori, yes, a Santa hat can be used. I use this same frame at Halloween time to make witches' hats, of course. I used it at Christmas to make Santa hats and elf hats. There were other people who made scarecrow hats and cornucopias. There's just so many things you can do with this one frame. And if it's not, as I showed you, because we cut it down some, if it's not quite what you want, you can cut it or tape it or zip tie it to make it what you want. Don't be afraid to stay within the constraints of your frame. That is what crafting is about, is exploring the options and thinking outside the box on what can you do to make this something else. Wanda, I did buy, I think I ended up with about 75 hats. But let me clarify that a little bit. I'm not one of the ones who went out and bought hundreds and hundreds. I bought 75 over the course of like a month and a half. I lived in an area where there were absolutely no crafters. So every time I would go to a Dollar Tree, they were there. So I'd pick up 10. Not take all of them, I'd pick up 10. Well, in 3 or 4 days, I'd go back. They're still there. So just in my area, they weren't getting bought up, and I had no problem taking them each time that I was there, but I never cleared a shelf. So, yes, Laura, you can buy from Dollar Tree online, for those of you that don't know that, and they will deliver to your home, or they will deliver to a store, whichever you choose. But the seasonal stuff is only seasonal. So once it goes for the season and the distribution center is out, then that's it till the next season. So that's why when the frenzy was created, that you could do, Santa hats, witches hats, all kinds of things with this one frame, people kind of went crazy and bought hundreds at a time. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. More power to them. They've got busier hands than I did at the time. But, that's, the frenzy was out there, and when you see things, you need to just grab them. You cleared a shelf or two. Yeah, see, and that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, see, Claudia, they weren't going in your area either. So, yeah. And I even actually helped, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 people. I put a post out and said if you wanted to pay the postage, that I'd be willing to just charge you what I paid for them plus, the postage, the shipping, and I'd send you, 10 at a time. And I had several people take advantage of that. So I even helped other people from, my area, because literally nobody was buying them. Sharon, you'll get yours this year. I think a lot of people are going to get theirs this year. they're not gonna sit on it. When they see them hit the shelves, they're gonna snatch them quick. How did I get the idea to use the hat as a carrot? Well, I mean, basically you just look at the frame and ideas come to you. You know, what shapes have, you know, this shape. And I had seen where in one of the wreathing groups, somebody had used one of the huge Christmas tree frames and turned it upside down and used it as well. So that was kind of what gave me the idea. Laura, that was really nice of you. Yeah, I felt bad that so many people didn't get them and wanted them. And, you know, I did what I could to help. I mean, there were a lot of people that balked at the cost of shipping, but you know what? It cost me to ship. So, you know, I had to charge something. All right, so now we're starting a row of 4, okay? And as you see, I wrapped around these 2 bars. And you want to make sure when you're laying this bundle in that you're managing the shape on your sides. So as you're laying your bundles in, just make sure that it's shaping the way you want. And if it's not, move things around and shift positions until it is laying right. Anita asks what can be used with the egg and the bunny that are out now instead of the obvious. I don't know. I haven't even looked at those yet. My Dollar Tree here, because now I'm out in the country, I'm not in the city anymore. So my Dollar Tree doesn't get ahead of the seasons. I actually went in 2 or 3 days ago, and asked if they had any cases of the deco tubing in the back because there was nothing on the shelf. And she's like, no, I mean, we really don't even have anything Easter, that everything that's in the back right now is Valentine's Day. But their truck comes this next week and it's supposed to be a lot of Easter. So she said, check back. So if you guys walk into your store and you don't see what you want on the floor, talk to a worker, find the manager, you know, just ask them. Because when I lived in Seattle, they were always willing to go in the back if they had a case. And I said, I'd buy the whole case, and they would, you know, bring out the case and I'd pay for it right then. Make a pumpkin with the eggs, Nita says. Fabulous idea. Okay, so here we are. I've gotten this outside edge attached for where we're starting our 4 in a row. And I'm out of the pre-made ones, so we're gonna ruffle these as we go. They know you at yours, Sharon. Tina asks, what kind and size of the green poly rope did I use last night in the Easter wreath? It's just a standard size. It comes in a package, and it was called Jute Flex Tubing. And I cut it probably, I don't know, I measured it, and it was 24, 25, 39, 40. It looked like probably in about 40, 42 inch sections, but I made 4 loops with 2 tails out of that. All right, so since we're doing 4, and this first one we attached to the first 2 bars. So this next one we're gonna attach to this second bar and the third bar. And the reason you want to pay attention to what bars you're placing them on is because you have to shape this. You can't just, you know, throw 18 bundles on here and expect that it's going to look like a carrot when you're done. You have to be mindful of where you're placing them. Laura, yes, the replay is on the page. So if you want to stick around for this when it's done, just scroll down a little bit, and it's should be the next 2 down. I think I made a post earlier. 1 or 2 posts down. I didn't post much today. Sorry, guys. Irina, does my mesh fray? Oh yes, it frays bad. And in the beginning, that really messed with my OCD-ness. But as I've gone on and just learned that there's nothing you can do, deco mesh is gonna fray, and you have to learn to embrace it as part of the look. There are things you can do to minimize it. but you're never going to keep it from fraying. Right, I'm the same way, Irina. And I can sit and cut and cut and cut, and it just drives me nuts. Denise, I did not spray this mesh that I'm using. I don't spray mesh before I do it. And the reason being, even after you spray it, it's still going to fray, okay? All it does when you spray it is it seals the ends and just minimizes it. It's not going to make it not happen, okay? There's no product that makes it not happen. Even a wood burning tool minimizes it, doesn't stop it completely, okay? So there's nothing you can do to stop it. You just have to do your best to keep it under control. So having said all of that, what I do is before I put anything I don't want to spray, for example, like signs or ornaments, which you can, there are some that I wouldn't. So before I get to that point, I will take, for instance, this finished base and I'll spray it. Well, I'll give it a haircut and trim all of the frayed edges. Then I'll spray it and let it dry. Then I'll finish adding my embellishments. Good night, Sue. Thank you for joining us. Amanda, this was a witch hat from the Dollar Tree. And this is what it looked like. Yes, thank you ladies for helping me answer the questions. I keep forgetting that I have to answer the questions because JC's not here. All right, so for the third one in this first row of 4, I'm going to catch the 3rd and 4th rows, okay, which keeps it in the center. Thank you, Tammy. You're so awesome. You're such an encourager. I know, Irina, I miss him too. I've really become dependent upon his help. And tonight I was just frantic trying to get everything set up because he helps me so much. And sometimes I don't even realize how much. Anna, thank you. I'm glad you reminded me of that. In the picture, I did a carrot in burlap. So if you're going to do this in burlap instead of deco mesh, you're going to cut the strips in 10 inches instead of 12, and you're only going to use 1 per bundle. The reason, again, we use 2 pieces of deco mesh is for coverage because the deco mesh is so thin, but you can't see through the burlap, so you only need 1 piece and a 10-inch piece. These are 12 inches, 2 pieces, burlap, 1 piece, 10 inches. Thank you, Karen. Creativity doesn't come easy for me. I've struggled with it, but I study under 3 creative mentors and I have a business coach. So, you know, I pay for my education in this, and then I get to bring my tips and tricks to you guys. But I love to work with my hands and make beautiful things. Thank you, Denise. Denise embraced the mesh. I tell you what, the very first wreath I sold on Etsy, I think I held my breath for the whole time until she received it. And I was scared, you know, of what the feedback might be. But I assure you, you are more critical of your piece than that person who has ordered it. You're going to see mistakes that they're not even going to know is a mistake. It's only a mistake to you. So don't be so harsh on yourself and just relax. And if somebody doesn't like it for whatever reason, just be gracious. You know, and just remember that, you know, the customer is your business. Irina, it was a jump I made not really intentionally. I lost my job and he was out of the military. So it was like, we can move home now. So we literally just made a rash, quick decision that we were moving home. And because we moved and relocated, instead of finding a job here, I am able to do it now. But, you know, it is scary, but you just got to jump. Carolyn, I know Nick was live. He was doing our tutorial, and I hated that I had to come live here, but unfortunately sometimes You know, I have to do what works for my family's schedule. And I had promised you guys this tutorial so many times. And I just felt like I needed to be on here to do it tonight. Yes, I have RA. I have rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease that eats your joints and synovial tissues. And there is no cure. All right, so we're doing another row of 4. And again, I'm going to wrap it around the first 2 bars and kind of guide it to the outside here as its resting point, and then tie off. Rosemary, well, I'm gonna say this to any of you who want to make this a business. First piece of advice, treat it like a business, not a hobby. If you treat it like a business, it'll act like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, people are gonna treat it like a hobby. The second piece of advice is get a Facebook business page and open an Etsy shop. Even if you only have 1 item to sell, open an Etsy shop. Hi, April. Mwah. All right, so we are ruffling 2 pieces at a time, and that gives us extra coverage. Karen, Etsy doesn't cost up front. Well, they can bill you monthly, but each thing that you list costs 20 cents, and then when it sells, you pay them, I don't know, like 2%, I think. That's their cut. But they figure shipping for you, they figure tax, and I mean, it's just, it's almost kind of foolproof. I promise if you just start the steps, go into Etsy, you know, click the I want to open a shop, and just start following the steps, it will be so much easier than you're thinking, I think. Do you have to have a business license to open an Etsy shop? Nope, you do not. All right, so we've got to cut some more pieces. I'm probably gonna need probably 8 more pieces, but we will kind of see as we go. So again, I put both of my rolls together and I'm measuring out 12-inch strips. What method do I use for the burlap? If I'm doing a burlap carrot, I use the same. I do a ruffle. If I'm doing a burlap wreath, if it's like a 12-inch or smaller, I do the pull through. If it's 14 inches or larger, I do the poof. Denise, I'm using 6-inch mesh from the Dollar Tree. Carolyn, tips for people with issues with hands. If you watch me long enough, you'll see little tricks that I do here and there to help me manage my hand pain. I do a lot of prep work before I come on, like I'll sit with the heating pad with my hands wrapped in it, or you know, there may be times I'll come on here and I'm wearing both of my arm and wrist braces. So as far as what you can do for the creative part though, bow maker, pro bow, the hands down. It is the way I make 90% of my bows. I do make some hand bows and I do use a bow dabra for some bows, but for the most part I use the pro bow because it is the easiest on my hands. Yes, the mesh is Halloween mesh, but you can totally get this at Hobby Lobby right now. It's just standard 6-inch mesh. Tax exempt. If you're setting it up as a full-fledged business, you're going to want to check into what you need for a proper business in your county and your state, because everyone is different. If you set it up as a full-fledged business, then yes, you can get a tax exempt number. And some wholesalers, you have to have that to even order from them. But just to start an Etsy shop, you don't have to have anything but a social security number. And if you make over, I don't even know what the amount is, they'll send you a 1099 at the end of the year, so you can report your taxes. But now keep in mind, you will have to collect tax on your Etsy shop sales, which it will figure for you. You can, you know, check the box that says, yes, figure for me. But you're going to have to pay your taxes to the IRS. So, you know, be mindful. Like I said, if you're serious about making it a business instead of a hobby, go and check out what you need to open a business in your county and your state. Laura, you picked up the round placemats. They're fabulous. Shipping, not sure. I just see shipping with a question mark, Yvonne. Not sure what your question was. They kind of go by fast, and as I look down to do work, you know, I miss a few. So I apologize. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. I have so many rolls of Dollar Tree mesh. What method would you use on a regular wreath? I would probably do the curl, cannoli curl, roll. It goes by several names, but I would probably do that. Okay, so again, we're wrapping it around the third and the fourth bar and making sure its placement's right down the center. And as you see, as I'm going down, I'm just taking the pipe cleaners and forming them. We can cut them off, we can twist them together and tuck them. Essentially, I'm gonna finish the back, so you're not gonna see all that. All right, I need one more in that row. And then I think we're only gonna need one more row, and then we'll add the green and the bow, and we'll be done, guys. How many bundles do I think this will take? I'll know exactly when I'm done, but it looks like I'm gonna take 5.5 rolls of Dollar Tree mesh, which I think, I can't really do the math in my head, but I think it equals like 1 or 2 Hobby Lobby rolls. If anybody could do that math for me and post it, that would be great. It does fray, Wendy. It frays, but all deco mesh frays. And you know, when I do things with the Dollar Tree mesh, I charge my prices accordingly. My Santa hats, depending on if I added anything besides just the mesh and a bow, would go anywhere from $28 to $32. You know, my big wreaths, way more than that. So I do charge accordingly for what product I use. Donna, I am. I'm seeing your posts. Why does it say send message to Halo Creative Designs directly? I'm not sure why it's doing that, Donna. I've not seen that, but I am seeing you. So here we are so far. So see how much coverage you're getting with just 2 ruffles by ruffling them together. And if you want more body in it, just go through and, like I showed you in the beginning, separate the ruffles. And you could probably get away with a few less bundles than I'm going to use, but those of you who have been with me since the beginning know that I like coverage. Thank you guys for the hearts and the thumbs. So everything that I'm using tonight came from the Dollar Tree, except for the green 10-inch mesh that we're going to use at the end, and the bow and the ribbon. All right, so it looks like I'm going to make this the last row. Okay, so for your top row, okay, you've got this part that kind of comes out. So you're going to take, I think I can show it on an empty frame a lot better. So you're going to take This part, you're gonna wrap it around this very end and loop it around the nubbies, okay? So it stays put in that exact spot, okay? Teresa, the Santa hat, do you mean the one that's kind of like squiggly edges? Because, I don't know. Really, honestly, if you use that one, it's really going to be tricky with placement. I think you could use it, but you're going to have to be mindful and manage your shape as you build up. Yes, Irina, the very first live I ever did was a witch hat. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you were there. No, that was a train wreck. The round placemats, Nelda, I finished the back of my wreaths with. All right. Actually, I'm going to put one more row of 4 in. I know there's a lot in here. It looks like a lot, but if you think about it, I mean, 6 rows of Dollar Tree mesh is the same price as like 1 roll of mesh at Hobby Lobby, so. Chris, you were there and it got you hooked on wreaths. That's fabulous. I love it that I can inspire people to be creative. Jody, thank you. We are all our own worst critic, and yeah, I felt like I could have done better. But for my first one, I'm sure that that was about the best I could do. Misty, thank you. Yeah, I have come a long way. I still get nervous, but it doesn't take me like 20 minutes of breathing and stuff before I go on now. Yes, Jenny, you surely could. Yes, Emma, this is a witch hat frame, and I cut it down. I modified it a little bit so I could make the shape of a carrot. Kathy, you can't get the hats right now. They'll be around again when Dollar Tree starts putting out their Halloween stuff this season. But go on YouTube and search Serendipity's Closet, and she has a tutorial where she uses plastic coat hangers and electrical tape, and she builds the frame. So even though you can't get the actual hat frame anymore, there's a way you can still create it. Okay, so I'm wrapping this one around bars 2 and 3. Donna, yes, it surely will. You can share it to your page and go back and watch it anytime you want. Thank you, Judy. Yes, JC is a very nice addition. He's nice to look at. But there will be times that he won't be able to be here with us. I'll get him in here every time that I can, but because of his full work schedule and class schedule and everything, you know, he won't be in here every time. But he likes to do this. Yes, Denise. Her name is Sandy Cass. Thank you. I couldn't think of her name. I could just remember her business name. Thank you, Donna. All right. So as you can see, I take and I squish it and pull it up between my fingers. That sucks it in together, so when you twist, it forms a nice tight ruffle flower effect. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you for tuning in with us. Thank you. Nicole, you love Sandy. She's just brilliant. She's got some good stuff. Tammy, we are going to get JC to do a wreath. We're not going to let him get out of that one. He promised. Laura, don't think for a minute that JC doesn't annoy me from time to time. We're married. It happens. Dana, the mesh pieces I cut at 12 inches, and they're 2 per bundle, and I ruffle them together at the same time instead of individually. Lori, I am happy I inspired you now. Make some carrots. And I hope this, gives you a good idea where you can use deco mesh or burlap. Burlap, again, if you use burlap to do this, same way to assemble, except for your cuts will be 10 inches and you will only use one piece per bundle. All right, where did I stop? Oh, okay, so the last one on this row of 4, and then we'll have one more row and it'll be 5, and we'll be moving on to the green. Carrie, your craft group did Santa hats after you watched me. That's awesome. Do you have one on Facebook, or do you do it outside of Facebook, like in real life? Sandy Cass's site's name to make the hats frame is Serendipity's Closet. SERENDIPITIES Closet. Hi, Anita. It's okay, better late than never. Thank you for joining. I am making a carrot wreath out of the Dollar Tree witch hat frame. And if you don't have a witch hat, don't fear, because YouTube, look up Serendipity's Closet, and she has a tutorial that shows how to use plastic coat hangers and electrical tape to make this very frame. Carrie, you're a group of ladies, you're all daycare providers, and you just shared. So yep, carrots are next. Randy, I did. I'll show you again. Here's the cut frame. I cut off the joints on each edge and the joint at the top. All right, so here's what we have so far. Shaping up nicely and very full. Now we're going to do our last row of 5. So as I said when I thought I was going to start this row a while ago, make sure you wrap this around all 3 bars and wrap it around the nubby so it stays in place. Anita, it's exciting when you find new things you can do with the witch hats, isn't it? 20 foot of burlap, would that be enough? Honestly, I don't know. When I do these in burlap, it takes 2 complete rolls of the Hobby Lobby orange burlap. So I can't remember what those rolls come in. So yeah, it's 2 rolls of those. Teresa, don't worry, you don't have hats. Go check out that YouTube video. She'll show you how to make one. All right, so it looks like we're gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4 more pieces. And I'm rolling my 2 rolls out together. Okay, thank you, Sharon. I'm horrible with math. I use a calculator for everything. Okay, 15 feet, right, okay, there you go. Thank you, ladies, for helping. But yeah, I use every bit of 2 rolls. And I honestly wish I could get like a couple more bundles when I do the burlap, but I just make sure I go around and fluff and spread things out evenly. I know you guys want to use the least amount of materials, you know, to save money. So you can get away with 2. If you want it to be fuller, you can, you know, go up on that. And with this, if you don't want it to be as full, you can totally cut down on the bundles, but I like full. Probably gonna have to open 1 more roll to get enough cuts. Sometimes, I don't know why, these rolls don't work out to be the same length. That's only from Dollar Tree. Does anybody else have that experience? Hi, Benita from Cincinnati. Christine, no, I cut, for the burlap, I cut the strips in 10 inches. Hi, Connie. Is the green mesh larger? Yes, the green mesh is 10 inches. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I think we might just have enough. Yeah, see, Ellen, right, never consistent. It's the strangest thing. Because like earlier when I was cutting all of these to do the prep work to come live, I had one roll that I got 24 extra inches out of versus the second roll that I was cutting with it. And I'm like, what? Yeah, all weird. Karen, you made a carrot from the witch hat? You guys, if you want to go on the business page, I'm pretty sure I have the right box ticked now, so you guys can share and comment and everything. You can give it a try. If not, let me know. But share your creations. So I'm going down for this next ruffle on the top to the next cross joint going vertical. Thank you, Kathy. Lori, how many rolls did I use for this or for the burlap? For the burlap, you cut 10-inch strips, use 1 per bundle, and I used 2 full rolls of the orange burlap from Hobby Lobby. For this, I think it's working out to be about 6 rolls of the 6-inch by 5-yard-ish, because they're never the same, Dollar Tree mesh. It is a Dollar Tree frame, Dollar Tree chenille stems. I'm trying to keep within the theme. However, Dollar Tree didn't have 10-inch green mesh, so I had to substitute for that. Do I have windows open? No, but can you hear that motorcycle that was going by? Is that what you heard? Oh, I live in the country, I live right beside a fire department. So sometimes the sirens are going off, or the air raid or the tornado horn, air raid, I don't know. And I'm right here beside it. So if that ever happens when we're on video, that's what's going on. Claudia, yes, I get to meet you. I am so excited about the convention. You guys, there were only, I think, 200 tickets available. There is a waiting list. So with what I'm about to tell you, if you want to join, let me know and I'll get you in touch with that waiting list. But in June, the big names, Julie Samaco of Southern Charm Wreaths and Damon Oates of Deco Exchange. And they're going to have some guest designers. I imagine Nick of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and maybe Clara of She's Crafty Too. I don't know for sure. But Julie and Damon are putting on a convention called Wreath Makers Live. And it's in June in Fort Worth. And basically, they're just going to break everything down, talk to you about business and wreath making and show you things, and just, an all-intensive weekend of learning. And I get to go to that, guys. I'm so super excited. And then I get to come back and share what I've learned with y'all. So, but if you're interested in going and purchasing a ticket, let me know. I will get you the link for the waiting list and you guys can sign up. There's no guarantees that you'll get a ticket at this point. They are trying to negotiate more space, more seating, but that hasn't, come to fruition yet. So just let me know. Benita, what size mat? I have 2 that I kind of pieced together here. This one's a 24-inch and this one's an 18. One is a self-healing, one is not. It's just whatever you can find. I got mine, one at Walmart and one at Joann's, I think. Yeah, Anita, I think they sold out within like 12 hours. It went quick. It was phenomenally quick. And when they saw how quickly it went, they then tried to start negotiating some extra space. And I haven't heard back on that, but we'll see. Christy, cool, yes. Any of you guys who want to make it a point to meet, send me a private message, and we can set up something for after hours, after the training. Maybe we can all meet up and go to dinner or something. I'd really like to get to know you guys. Thank you, Tammy. I am so super excited. And you know what makes that weekend even more special is the conference takes place on the 15th and 16th. My anniversary, 12 years, is on the 18th, and my birthday's on the 19th. So we're gonna kind of make it a honeymoon weekend, sort of, so to speak, for JC and I. Hi, Nancy. Welcome. It's okay. You're just on time. Hotel sold out too. Are you kidding me? Originally, it booked me a one room with 2 double beds. And I'm like, my husband and I can't sleep in a double bed each. So I arranged to have a king bed. So I think I'm paying a little bit more for my room than everybody else's negotiated rate, but that's okay. Linda, I found out about the conventions because I pay to be taught how to do this. I pay to be a part of Deco Exchange's private group, Nick's Seasonal Decor's private group, and Southern Charm Wreaths private group. Those 3 are my creative mentors. They're the ones who I learn how to do this from. And then Southern Charm Wreaths is also my business coach. She is the one who has helped propel my business to where it is in 4 short months. Tammy, sure. I think a group of us are going to try to go to see the Magnolia Silos. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we're going to try. Did my comments freeze? Okay, guys, my comments, I think, froze, so I'll just sit here and talk, and maybe they'll come through in a minute. All right. It looks like we're going to need 3 more, maybe. Yeah, 3 more. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. All right, now I am wrapping these around all 3 top bars. And just as a rule of thumb, you want to wrap them around as many bars as you can for placement stability so they don't scoot around. Linda, I actually am becoming a mentor on the 1st of February. I have started a private coaching group, guys. It's called Halo Private Wreath Studio. You can request to join. There are 3 questions. You have to provide your email so I can send you an invoice. It's $14.99 a month. You can cancel at any time. So if you do it for 1 month and decide it's not for you, you can always opt out. In this group, I'm going to teach you a designed wreath a month. Probably some bonuses sprinkled here and there because I still have to work and make wreaths, and I'll take you guys along with me. And I'm also going to give you business tips and tricks that I've learned that have helped my business grow to where it is now. Thank you, Caroline. I love Nick and Damon. They're just awesome guys. Thank you, Jackie. Gloria, I hope they get more. Your anniversary's on the 18th too? Oh my gosh. Happy anniversary early. All right. Laura Lopez. Yes, my group. Let me see if it'll let me comment tonight. Last night it wouldn't let me comment. It's not letting me comment tonight either. Okay, if one of you ladies wouldn't mind to type in the link and pin it for the private group, it's Halo Private Wreath Studio, because for whatever reason, it did this last night. It won't let me comment anything at all. It won't even bring up the comment box. Laura, Damon's sense of humor. Damon is not for everybody, but he has a lot of knowledge that he can instill in you. So he's a great designer. And Nick, I mean, like Jody said, each one is a paid group, but they teach you different things. And that's the question I think I've gotten a lot. Well, I already am a part of this paid group. Why should I pay for another? Well, because each person does things differently. Each person knows a little bit more or a little less than the next person, or it knows a different trick or what have you. But each group you pay for, you get a little bit more knowledge than what you had. And if you are serious about making wreaths or any kind of home decor, because we won't always do wreaths, I do swags and centerpieces and other things. So if you're serious about making these things and making it a business, then you want to invest in your business. That's exactly what I did. I didn't know any of this when I started, and look at me now. So it can be done. And like I said last night, one thing to always keep in mind, if one person has done it, it is possible, and you can do it too. You just have to figure out what works for you. Glenda, you're in Murray? Well, hi, neighbor. We'll have to have some lunch. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent there. Lily, exactly. Watch and learn. Ask questions. And I know sometimes people think that we're ignoring you, but the questions go by fast. And sometimes we don't see them because I get 3 comments at a time right here. And that's all I can see. And the rest disappear. So, you know, I hope anyone doesn't think that I'm ignoring them or not answering their questions. I try to answer as I can see. Trixie, yeah, my chat froze up a bit. But it seems to be moving right now. Well, Irina, I can give you all the encouragement you need. All right. This is the next to last one. We've got one more. Okay. I'm going to add one more to this end to kind of even it out. But as you can see, it kind of looks like a carrot, guys. Because I don't want to deal with the ends of that one, I'm just going to take 2 fresh ones off of this roll. Hi, Josie from San Antonio. Sharon asks how I found the money to spend on supplies when there was no money coming in. And in the beginning, you start with maybe Dollar Tree supplies. You know, if you can afford $5 this week or $10, you know, you can make a wreath. You have to start out small. And when I started out, I was behind the game. I started out in mid-season, so everything that I was making wasn't really relative at that moment. People had already shopped for Halloween decor and Christmas decor. But I still made them because that was the materials that I could find at Dollar Tree, and it was the materials that I could find on sale in the craft stores like Hobby Lobby and Michael's. So that's how I got started with supplies. I just took a little bit because, like I said, when I started my business, I had just been reduced to half-time. So I still had a bit of an income, and my husband made enough to support us. But, you know, if we wanted a life, I needed to work. So, you know, mine was just more or less supplemental income. His paid the bills. So I was able to take some of that part-time income and build up my supplies. But for those of you that don't have that luxury, shop sales, use coupons, sign up for text alerts for each of the craft stores that you go to because they all have them. Order, you know, online and make sure you're ordering enough, you know, so you get free shipping. Just try to shop as smart as you can. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. But again, if you've made a conscious decision to make this a business and not a hobby, then, you know, those sacrifices will be ones that you're okay with making. Karen, you can totally make beautiful wreaths with cheaper materials. Case in point, right here, Dollar Tree materials. But when we're done, this is going to be so stinking cute. All right, so this is the last one, and I'm wrapping it around all 3 of the top bars and making sure Did I catch the nubbies? Mom or Jody or Tammy or somebody, would one of y'all mind typing in the Halo Private Wreath Studio link and pinning it for me? Hi Kim, I am cutting the strips at 12 inches. Okay guys, so here's the finished carrot part. Now the rest is going to go fairly quickly. I probably should have gotten some green stems. Hold tight with me for a second. Those won't really match. For you guys, you probably want to match your chenille stems to your mesh. And I forgot to grab some green ones out. They're way over there in a box. So what you're going to do is take your 10-inch mesh. This is 10-inch mesh cut in a 10-inch strip. And you're going to pull it opposite corners apart till it looks like this, okay? Kind of walk your fingers in to the inner two corners and fold, it sticks to itself, so fold those corners under and roll them, okay? So here's what it looks like. I don't know what you call this. Some people call it petal. I think Hardworking Mom calls it sunburst. But you just take the two opposite corners and pull them apart. So at this point, I fold it in half. And I take a piece of floral wire, cut in half, because I don't need the whole thing. You could totally use pipe cleaners for this. Like I said, mine are way over there. I didn't grab them out before I started, and that was my bad. Okay, I don't know what's up with this tonight, guys. I'm sorry. I will get the link to the private group pinned as soon as the live's over, guys. But remember, if you want to join, you have to provide me your email address so I can invoice you. If you don't pay your invoice, I can't admit you until the payment is cleared. It's okay, guys. It's okay. I will do it after it's over. Okay, so to attach the green top part of your carrot, you're going to take the middle section of the top of your frame and wire your pieces into that. Oh. Is that why you can't pin it? I didn't know, because somebody pinned something last night that wasn't an admin, and it let them pin it. So I thought maybe you could. Laura, no, I haven't sold the wreath from the live last night yet. It's kind of a shocker because usually when I do a live, those go fairly quickly. But it's okay. I'm not worried. If it doesn't sell this season, it'll probably be the first one to go next season. Yes, orange I cut in 12-inch strips. And the green, I cut in 10-inch strips. The orange mesh is 6-inch, and the green mesh is 10-inch. So there you have one piece of your top attached. You're going to do another one. Pull your opposite corners, just like this. Walk your fingers in. Just take the inner two corners and roll them together. Pinch in the middle, and that's where you're going to put your floral wire, your pipe cleaner. Fold it in half, like that, and just twist. Jill, how do I store my wreaths that haven't sold? What I do is I put them in plastic bags, either clear or garbage bags, whatever I've got on hand. And if it's clear, I can see through it. If it's black, I print a picture and tape to the outside. And then I put them on a rack and cover the rack with a tarp. And that's all I do. Yes, I use the witch hat as my base. And on the blank cat where I'm attaching the green parts, probably in between where my 2 fingers are, smack dab center of that top row. And I'm attaching them to this inner bar and the top bar for stability. Right, Estella? Many things. It is a very versatile frame. So I cut off the ends of my wire or stem, whatever you're wiring in with, and I fold the cut edge down inside so it's not poking out. How would I describe my style of wreaths? Honestly, Irina, I don't know. I don't know what I would describe my style. I like to do it all. I like deco mesh. I like rustic using burlap and, you know, non-sparkly materials. I like doing grapevines. I don't know. I like doing them all. I think, though, I've been kind of stuck on swags lately. I really like doing swags. Hi, Roswell. See, I love rustic and country. And you know, Irina, it's funny because those tend to be the pieces that sell first. Emma, the burlap one that I do, I sell for $30. And this one, I'll probably sell for $28. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it yet. Yeah, deco mesh is my least fave. All right, if you have a hard time getting it wrapped around both bars, just kind of part the C's of deco mesh with your fingers and work it through the best you can. Yeah, they sold out really quickly. But if you don't have a witch hat frame, don't worry, because you can get them, or you can make them. And if you search Serendipity's Closet on YouTube, she shows a way to make the hats with plastic coat hangers and electrical tape. So you can still have the hat frame, you just have to put a little more work into it to make it. But they make so stinking many things, you know, witch hats, elf hats, Santa hats, cornucopias, scarecrow hats, carrots, you know, lots and lots of things. Okay, thank you. I know I got the last 2 burlap carrots I had actually sold today, so thank you guys that purchased them. All right, now we're going to do the same thing with this one as we've been doing with the other greens, but instead of folding it in half, you're going to go down to about 3/4 and then fold it. Okay. So just fold it about 3/4 of the way down and tie off. Right, PJ? You and me both. I hate taking off the tinsel worse than anything. Okay. So what this does is it's just a different height of green leaf, and it adds dimension. Oh, come through. Sometimes when I can't get my fingers through, I'll use my needle nose pliers to pull the wire through. Rosemary, what do they look like, the burlap ones? It would be the picture that is attached to the live picture that I posted. It had a simple burlap ribbon. Okay, so as you see, you've got just a piece that's a little longer. And we're going to put one more piece right in there to fill the gap. And then that's going to be the top of your carrot. Or we might put 2 more. But we're going to do another long one. Okay, so we won't fold it in half. We'll fold it about 3/4 of the way down. So here's your full. I'm pinching down about that far and folding. Okay. Becky, I know. I feel sorry because everybody wanted some and not many got. So I bet this next year, those people who didn't get them will be on the ball. Donna, how many of the green ones am I using? I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to use 6, but this is going to be the 5th one, and I'll know if I'm going to use the 6th one after I get this one on. The green mesh, Debbie, I cut at 10 inches, and it is 10-inch mesh. And the orange mesh is, okay, I'm going to have to take my needle nose to pull that through. The orange mesh is a 6-inch mesh, and I cut it in 12-inch strips. All right, so I got it pulled through a little bit. And I am wrapping it around 2 bars for stability. Sharon, I'm sorry. All right. Laura, you totally could. I mean, when I did like the witch hats and stuff, I added, you know, a little pick of some sort, a fun pick, and a bow usually, just to give it a little extra pizzazz. All right, so what do we think? You kind of have to play with it a little. I think I'm going to add one more short one up front. So we are going to use all 6 green pieces. I used 4 folded in half and 2 folded at 3/4. Thank you guys. I think it's stinking cute. Well, I put some backing on it. Yes. The burlap ones, I took some burlap ribbon and laid it in strips all across the back and hot glued it down. This one, I will probably take my leftover mesh here and cut it out in strips and fill in the back just to cover up all the nastiness. And I'll probably go through and take all of these ties and either cut them off and fold them down in, or I will kind of braid them and twist them all together and run them down the center. And then, like I said, I'll cover over that. Yes, Sharon, at the end, after the live is over, I'm going to trace the hat pattern on a piece of cardboard, and I'm going to go with a marker and put an X on every place that I put a bundle, and then I'll post a picture for you guys so you know exactly where to attach all your bundles. All right, get this last one wound around here. I might have to use the needle nose again. Yep. My hands get so achy, I can't hardly pull sometimes. So, we use tools. How far am I from Ohio? Kathy, I am 4 hours south of Louisville. So I'm not sure how deep you are into Ohio, but we're 4 hours south of Louisville. Aw, thank you, Tammy. You're so sweet. What did I do with it? Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Huh. Thank you, Donna. Okay, so here we go, guys. Man, this is like the worst view. Okay, so the last step is to attach your ribbon or your bow. And I pre-made this one right here. Whoops. Pre-made this one, and I'm going to attach it to one side of the green, okay, kind of off to the side. Oh, hi, honey. Good morning. All right, so I'm going to wrap it around all 3 bars like I have done everything else. All right, you just pull it in tight to your frame. And I don't always tie it off completely the first time because I play with it and look for placement. You know, if I need to move it, I can move it. So because I got a good tight twist when I made the bow, I can be pretty forceful when moving the bow around to shape it. And really, you know, this is all you do to fluff a bow. Put your hand in it and spread your fingers apart. Okay, and then to make your tails curl, here's a little trick. Scissor your fingers like this, flip them flat, and just slide them, if it wasn't sticking to the deco mesh, slide them up and it curls. Well, it will when I hold it up. So again, scissor your fingers, roll them over flat, and then just roll up your ribbon, or slide down your ribbon. And it works better when it's hanging and I'm not trying to pull so hard on it from this angle. But you guys get the picture. And I might trim these tails a little bit. But for video purposes, here you go. So here's your bow, here's your carrot. There you go, guys.